Okay, so new video. Okay, so I got this 4230 here. I bought it about a year ago. Had original tires on it. Obviously, they're not original anymore. I just put new ones on. Firestones all the way around. Instead of bias plies, I put the radial, all-traction radial. Radial all-traction Firestone tires, 23 degree. And we were running that 3-point mower on it. Well, I guess after running the 3-point mower on it for a little bit, it started to leak oil, which I kind of expected it to do down at that load control shaft down at the bottom. So what I have to do is actually pull the lift arms off, or the pull arms as they call them. Got to take the pull arms off, and then I have to drop this yoke that they attach to. Now I'm not 100% sure that's what it's called, but anyway, so I got to pull the drawbar, pull the arms down, and there's clips in there that hold those. Well, here I can show you real quick. There's clips right in there that hold it in there, and it's leaking. This has kind of been John Deere's problem child in the 20 and 30 series, 10, 20, and 30 series tractors. Really don't know why they did it that way. Maybe it was for lubrication of the control or the load control shaft, but not 100% sure why. But anyways, I just want to get that oil leak fixed because it's leaking about a gallon a day when you're running it, and just sitting there it probably takes a pint just sitting there. So I don't really want to have those kinds of problems. So anyways, I'm going to get to tearing it apart, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. So here we go. It's kind of chilly out here this morning. It's supposed to get to 80 degrees, but alright, so the first thing we're going to do is pretty simple. I have a chunk of cardboard here. Now, John Deere has had some weak parts about this machine for years. Like this drawbar, well, you can see the oil's dripping. It's coming from this side. Now, that shaft just goes through there, and there's a couple of bushings or shims or whatnot. But see, this pin, you should be able to just pull it up. Well, you can't. Well, you can. I'm going to tell you why it's more difficult than what you would think it would be. The first part is stick your hand up in there, and there is a round disc with a notch in it, and all you got to do is figure out where the notch is, and then you can pull your pin out. Now, that drawbar will come right the heck out of there. Okay, so that part is pretty well complete. Probably gotta get some gloves on, huh? There's that. So the next thing you want to do, and it's really not that difficult to do this job, it's just messy. And I've done them a couple of times, but the next thing you got to do is you got to remove the pull arms from the bottom part here, which this tractor has not got that many hours on it. It's a little over 3,000 now. I got it when it was 2,900 and change, as you remember. And what happens with these things, God, why can't I get them out for that? What happens with these things is they get dry rotten. That's all. Just dry rotten from not being used. The O-rings do, or the seals, as they say. The older seals were, I believe they were rubber, possibly natural rubber, I don't know. So anyway, I pulled the pin out of the other side too, if you didn't notice. I'm going to have to get a pair of vice grips on it. So anyways, let me get the vice grips. Let's see what we can do from there. Actually, I got channel locks. And they generally do come out pretty easy, but like I said, this tractor is also 40 years old, so things aren't quite as loose as they should be or could be. And these are chrome plated pins, if I can remember right. So there. So that's all you do. You get those out of the way like that. Now I'll show you the top side here in a minute. Let me, okay, so now that I've got them loose on the bottom, I have to deal with the tops, which is pretty much the same as the bottoms. You know, it's just a linchpin. You know, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and push that out, and then I'll take the pull arms completely off. Maybe you can see that, huh? Oh, shoot. Oh, I had a feeling that that was going to do that. Let's do it this way then. Get them to come down and possibly get them to come out pretty easy. Because these tractors sit around for so many years, this one anyway. Oh, there it is. There it is. Well, now that it's down, they won't come out unless it's up a little higher. But there you go. There's a whole chute. There. Now the back end of your tractor is pretty well bare. Doesn't take long to take these things apart, or even to put them back together. Somebody's coming in here. Oh, that's my dad. Anyway, the next thing on the list of things to do is to get this thing here out of there. You see that? There's just an E-clip that goes in there, or a spring clip. Actually, the next thing to do to this tractor is not to drop this, is to actually remove the hydraulic oil. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the hydraulic oil out of it. So,
there you go.
I go?
Yep.
Alright, so I got the hydraulic oil out of here. Mr. Tim showed up. I guess the next thing to do is to actually just pull the clips off and get that load control shaft moving out. I'm sure it's just O-rings, which is no big deal. I think I do have a kit to put in there if I have to. I know I don't have a shaft, but I know I have the shims. So if I have to, I'll replace the O-rings. If I need another shim, I'll just put another shim in there. Alright, so let me get a screwdriver. It's a bit of a bitch to take your gloves on and off all the time. Yay, look what I found, a screwdriver. Alright. Yeah. There we go. That's all it is. I just need a pair of snap ring pliers and we should be good. It's always a good idea to clean these up before you go at it. You know why?
No.
You don't?
No.
Well, because if you don't clean it up, you got dirt. And if you get dirt, you get leaks, and you finally get it all back together again. So I'm going to get that gum cutter that's over there behind you. There's a thing of gum cutter.
You see it.
Got it? I know this thing's been leaking a little bit more than I want it to. Gum cutter works good for removing oil. It's
grease.
Carb cleaner PCV valve, but it does take oil and grease away. It is more expensive than I like it to be, but hey, sometimes you just gotta do shit you don't want to do. It will also remove paint if it's the right kind of paint. And besides, Tim used all my starting fluid, didn't ya? Alright. Okay. Now let me see the camera. As you can see, possibly see, maybe right there, you can see the clips at the upper right hand side or up the upper part of the screen, and I'll pop those out. So okay, after beating and cursing and swearing on that other side, I got it out. So this is all you do. You kind of give that thing a little bit of a tapping, like so. And of course we got oil running, which I don't want to have to deal with too much of. So we kind of got to do this. We might get another bucket. Just another bucket. Got a rat poison bucket here. Okay. Well, make sure you put this thing back in right. It has a tapered end at one side. I don't know if it's focusing. And a square-shouldered one on the other. Tapered one goes in first. It doesn't matter which way it goes, whether it's right or left. But that's the end that expands the O-rings. So, now that I've got that job done and I'm totally missing the bucket, what I'm going to do is actually clean this up. It's got some rust on it, which is more than likely why it is leaking. So, yeah. Alright, here we go. We're going to lower it. Okay, so here's the deal. Yep, interesting. I think it's just a rusting issue. Here's the shims that go in there. And these are the old style ones, or the new style ones. The later style. Somebody has replaced these, I think. But for the most part, you're supposed to stick squash an O-ring in between there, but I'm not even seeing that through here. Alright, that makes somewhat of a little bit of sense to me. I'll look on the other side. Oh yeah, it's just from rust. Huh. Interesting. What the hell goes on there? Oh yeah. Well, huh, weird. Alright, a little different than what I was expecting, but nothing unusual. There goes my glasses. Okay, let me take you for a quick ride here. I'm going to clean this up a bit. I can't show you in too much detail just for the simple fact that there's... Alright, now maybe you can see, you see a bluish tint to that. Inside there is a plastic seal on that bushing. More than likely there has gotten to be a piece of dirt, or the shaft has gotten a piece of rust in it, which there is rust on this shaft. Okay, well that kind of complicates things a little bit, and this is the side that it was leaking on, the side with the rust. So, a couple things we can do with that. I can stick an O-ring on the inside of that thing and hopefully it stays in there. Or I could just clean the shaft up, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I've done is I have polished up this shaft. It is by no means bad. Ooh. By no means is the shaft bad, but it needed to be polished up, so I did that. Oh, yeah. So anyhow, we have these guys here, and these are just shims that go in between there, and I'm actually going, I think I've got another one of these. I'm going to have to go look, and we'll see what I can find. If I got another one of these, I want to stick it in there, because if it's got room to play, then it's got room to be a pain in the ass. Alright, go ahead, get out of here. Go ahead, get out of here. It's fine.
I need to change cable real quick.
You need a who?
Change cable loop.
Why?
Because my lever for my seat is all screwed up.
Do me a favor, go ahead and push that thing through that shaft. You're going to have to push down on it a little bit more. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Screwdriver might work. Alright, push it. Ah! Go ahead, a little more. A little more.
Hold on.
You got a hammer, didn't you get the brass hammer?
Yeah,
Where's the brass hammer?
I got it.
Good.
Good?
Yep, you're good there. Okay. So that should do that. Alright, go ahead and put it on. Now the only way to really figure out whether it's going to be a pain in the ass is to actually use it. Put oil in it and see if it works. Now a lot of these, the later ones had, instead of having that little tit on there, they had a grease fitting on it. Well, I thought this was more like the old style. This is like the 40-20 style piece, but the interior is like the 44-30. So what I'm going to do is actually put grease in there, see what happens. Right, Tim?
What?
Right?
Nothing.
What?
What?
What? Yeah, we'll just grease the hell out of it. There we go. Okay. Okay. Alright. As you can see, I'm doing this kind of real time here. Now this is the one thing that'll piss you off every time, is when you get it all back together again, and if you did it wrong, that freaking clip will fall out and then you'll lose the whole shooting match. And if you're wondering how I know that, it's the voice of experience. There it is. I want to set those things in. There you go. Okay. Now we'll do it on the other side. Break on through to the other side. Alright. This grease gun over here. I probably don't recommend from the dealer to put grease in it on this model, because the engineers took them a while to figure that out. They had to have people like me do it first. A little bit of grease goes a long way in a rust factory. So anyway, here we go. Interesting. Very, very interesting. See, now I got grease in there, which is creating a pressure. Now, let me get this up in here nice and tight. Maybe you can look at my ugly mug here while I'm doing this. You know, according to LOL Tomatoes, if I let my hair grow, then I'm ugly. So I guess because I'm bald, I'm beautiful. Yeah. It don't matter. I don't think my girlfriend really cares one way or the other. But anyway. Okay. Alright, let's say we keep on tapping it and tapping it and tapping it until it gets to where I want it to go. that's that. So anyway, now I've got that all seated in there, and it's good to go. What I'm going to do is go ahead and start putting hydraulic oil in there before I put everything else back together. Now, I changed the oil filter the other day, didn't catch it, so I'm not going to be changing the oil filter. So anybody that's got ambitions of yelling at me for not changing the oil filter, well, too bad. I already did that. So anyway, so I'm going to get some hydraulic oil in there, and then I'll show you the rest of it when I'm done. Okay, so there it is, all back together. No leaks. None at all. I had put some hydraulic oil on here, so there's a drip there. That's all I did, was to lubricate that pin, but it is not leaking back where it would normally be leaking if it was in fact broken. But I do have an oil leak up above there, and I am going to have to track it down. It is behind the battery box. So now I have to do that. But anyways, that's for another time. So please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.